When it comes to building things, we humans think we're pretty smart. The truth of the matter is, we borrowed a lot of our construction techniques from the animal kingdom. We learned to thatch roofs by watching birds at work, and build dams by watching beavers at play. Even the idea for a geodesic dome came from watching bees build hives and wasps build nests. Ah, now for some honey. Wait a second. This isn't a beehive, it's a wasp nest! Animal architecture, what a concept! Zoos are nice for getting close-up looks at animals, but if you want to really learn about their behavior, you have to see them in the field. Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall dedicated their lives to studying primate behavior in the wilds of Africa. And because of their pioneering work, we have a much better understanding of how gorillas and chimps live. Whoa. Wildlife in action. What a concept.
Look at what we found.
Hi, girls. How you doing?
Are you crazy? Get that thing out of here. You know I'm allergic to bee stings.
Relax, not a beehive. It's a wasp nest. And besides, it's about 10 years old.
You sure there's nothing living in there or anything?
Of course not. We found it in Tank's attic. We were going to bring it to school for a project we're doing on animals that build stuff.
We're researching on all kinds of animals. I can't believe how many build nests. It's kind of like that trip we took last year. What trip?
Where'd you go?
We got some pictures. You want to take a look?
Sure.
All right.
It's really
Keep that
neat.
thing away from me. Actually, the pictures are pretty cool. And, this is my favorite.
Oh, neat.
Hey, Dad, what's that hairy-looking thing?
I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of nest.
That can't be a nest.
Well, it doesn't look man-made, and there are a lot of weird birds in here and everything, so maybe one of the birds in here built it.
Hi. I see y'all are looking at our cacique nests.
A what nest?
Caciques. These nests are built by blackbirds, red-rumped caciques to be exact.
Wait, I thought nests were little round things with twigs in them. That's not round.
No, this is a woven nest. We have some nests like you're talking about. We call them open cup nests. And that's the kind of nest that most people see because that's the kind the birds build in their yard. Would you like to see some other kinds of nests? We've got lots of them here in the birdhouse.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
What do y'all think about this nest?
That's a nest? I thought that was a hole in a tree.
Well, that's just the part of the nest that you can see. Some birds build their nests by excavating cavities in dead trees, and these plate-billed mountain toucans are real busy excavating their cavity. You can see all the wood chips on the ground.
Do they know how to build these, or is it something they have to learn?
Well, it's different with different types of birds. Of course, building a cavity in a dead tree is not too hard to learn, so these birds need very little practice to do it well. Those cacique nests I showed you,
right.
The males build those, and if they don't learn how to do it, if they don't get to practice when they're juveniles and see males do it, they'll never learn how to do it very well.
Well, on this nest, do the males or the females build it? Or just
they both help with this kind of nest. In this case, the female is doing most of the excavating.
Now, this is what I think about when I think about a bird's nest.
What kind of nest is that?
This is what we call an open cup nest, and it was built by our pair of green jays here. This is the kind of nest you usually see in your backyard, what people usually think of as a bird nest, like the mockingbirds and the blue jays and the mourning doves build.
Does the mother or the father build that?
Usually with this kind of nest, both of the sexes help.
Well, different nests for different birds. So, animal architecture, eh?
What a concept.
All right, well, thanks a lot.
Sure.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Miss Tara, Dad and I have been talking about different things that animals build. Do you think there's a beehive anywhere around here?
Sure, we have one right up here.
Now, Tara, I've been noticing that there aren't that many beehives around anymore. I used to see them in trees or hanging from trees, but it doesn't seem like there are any more beehives.
There's one right there. You just have to notice them.
That's in a bird box.
Yeah, the bees will go to any place where there's shelter.
What are those things hanging down?
Those are the combs. They store the honey in there, and that's where they raise their young. They lay their eggs in there. Most of the bees participate in building of the hive. There are some different kinds. There's the queen bee, who's in charge. There's only one queen per nest, and her job is to lay the eggs. Then there's the drones, which are the males, and their job is to fertilize the queens. They don't help with anything else. The bees that do all the work would be the worker bees.
Now, they're females.
They're females. They're underdeveloped females, so they can't reproduce, but they do all of the cleaning out of the combs, the building of the combs, taking care of the young and feeding them, kicking the drones out.
Whoa, they kick the drones out?
They kick them out.
All right. Is there any way we could get a closer look at a hive? I mean, I don't really want to climb that tree. It looks kind of nasty up there.
Sure, we have some out back that are cultivated hives, some man-made ones.
Check it out?
Yeah, it sounds neat.
All
All right.
I was wondering, what are those two tree stumps doing there?
Well, they're tree stumps. They kind of give you a comparison to a man-made one that you can rob as opposed to a hive in a dead tree.
You said rob the hive. That sounds so bad. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's when the beekeeper would take the honey.
So it's harvesting the honey out of the hive.
Kind of, except it's called robbing.
How do they do that?
Using smoke, they smoke them out. The bees leave the nest and they go in and take the plates that have the honey on them.
Have you ever participated in something like that? No.
No, not for me.
That's good honey.
Isn't this place wild? There's Ann. Hey, Ann, how you doing?
Hi, Steve.
Ann, this is my daughter, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia. This is my friend, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Steve. Hi,
How you
Olivia.
doing?
Real good.
What do you do here?
I'm a volunteer exhibit diver. I get to go into the exhibits and interact with the animals.
Are you going to go in there soon?
Yes. In fact, I'm just about to go in there now. Why don't you stick around and I'll see you when I'm in the exhibit.
Cool.
All right. Okay, great.
Yes.
Thanks. And Olivia and I are in search of animal architecture. We're looking at things that build things, animals that build things. And figured a coral reef might be a good place to check out what's happening under the water.
Sounds like a good idea. Why don't we take a walk?
Okay, great.
What's the point in having aquariums?
Well, we need aquariums because we need to protect a lot of endangered species of marine life, and we need to teach people about the thousands and thousands of species of marine life that's out there. But most importantly, we really want to teach people to appreciate the beauty of the natural world.
Great.
Do you think we could talk to Robin?
Sure, I have a mic right here. There you go. Well, I have to run.
All right, Ann. Well, thanks a lot. We'll
you.
catch up with you later.
Sure, enjoy your visit.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Olivia.
Is that coral reef real?
Well, the one you're looking at in here is not real. It's been made by men to replicate a coral reef that you might see off the coast of Cozumel, Mexico. But it's not actually real.
Now, Robin, if this were a real reef, what would actually be doing the building there? I know those coral are they're not one animal, right? There are a lot of animals in there?
Well, it's not one animal. It's made up of colonies of hundreds of thousands of individual animals, little coral polyps that live together to form that whole coral head.
So you mean each one of those little holes would be one animal living in
One animal, yes. And it just keeps growing as more and more animals add on.
So each coral is like a condominium.
Yes, exactly. Or like a city, the bigger they get.
Well, I guess we should leave Robin off to her own feeding frenzy here. So why don't we take off?
Okay.
We'll check out something else. So, Michaelin, this is where beavers live, huh?
Right
in the
ahead
mud.
of us. In the mud, in the grime.
Oh,
You got it?
yeah.
Okay.
Glad I wore my new boots here.
Well, I told you, if you wanted to see a beaver, you have to get dirty.
Okay,
So this is-
now, are we going to see any beavers?
We might if we tamper with their dam, but normally the beaver are nocturnal, and they do most of their activities during the night, so right now they're sleeping, and they're probably hearing us and wondering why we're up here messing with their dam.
How do they build the dams?
Well, what the beaver does is they'll go up to a tree and they'll cut it down, and then they'll take cuttings from that particular tree, and they'll bring it down to the water, and they'll usually put the rough in downstream, and the branches will come out more towards upstream. You see how it's constructed right here. And what happens is that they'll come in from the water side, and then they'll push up mud and things like that and pack it in there, and also debris that naturally will flow through here clogs it up, and that helps pack it in.
What's the point of the dam? I mean, is it just because they're like, you know, industrial engineers of the animal kingdom or something? I mean,
what the beaver does is they'll build a dam to raise the water level up, and in that way they'll build their lodge, and so it's more of a safety area for them.
So they don't use the water for fishing or anything like that?
Well, they'll use the water to get their food out of and for protection and things like that, and they'll use it daily, but they mostly want to raise the water level so they'll have a safe environment for themselves. And when they do that, they change the whole area. What happens is that first there's a stream through here. They build the dam, and in doing so, they'll tear down the trees. You can see a lot of trees around the water have been taken down, and eventually the high water will kill the remaining trees off. And in doing that, they create a marshland, which brings in different types of vegetation, brings in waterfowl, fish, a whole variety of species. And if the dam is broken, the water will drain up, and eventually the place could dry up and become a meadow. So they can change a whole area just by building a dam.
Are they endangered? I mean, I know there was a lot of beaver hunting at one time, but...
They're not endangered today, but before the white man came to this country, there are estimated to be more than 60 million beavers. And in 1930, they had to be protected because they were being hunted so readily.
Michael, can we take a look at the other side of the dam here?
Sure, be careful, the ground's pretty wet.
Try not to slip.
Hey, Dad, check that out. It's a spider web.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
It looks like he's eating something, too.
Sure is.
Wow, I love the pattern that it makes. It just sort of spirals and twists. Well, I guess that's animal architecture, too.
What a concept.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hey, I just got a great idea. How about we build an ant farm and then take it to school?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But how do we do that?
It's actually pretty easy. All you need is a tank or something and some sand for them to dig in. We've got the stuff right here if you want to use it. Ting, we have an aquarium back there. You can take that one. And Kim, you want to get the bucket of sand? And why don't you put the book away? We don't want to mess up the pictures. And, you know, ants don't need very much. They just need something to dig in. And you probably have to get them some water, like a little dish of water or something, and something for them to eat, something sugary. So let's just pour this in. So maybe a little bit of syrup or maybe some fruit or something. And if you really want to keep it going well, what you need to do is get yourself a queen. Do you know what a queen looks like?
A really big one?
Yeah, it's the biggest one. It's got a large head usually, and you may have to dig into the anthill a little bit to get the queen because she's usually deep inside. And do me a favor, if you're going to keep this in the house, keep a cover on it, okay? We don't want them running all over the place. And you'll probably find the ants you need in the backyard. So, okay, can you handle that?
Sure, yeah.
All right, make sure you don't get the red ones, okay?
Okay, thanks, Dad.
All right, we'll see you later.
You can set up your own mini animal condo by making a terrarium in a bottle. All you need is a clear plastic soda bottle, soil, and grass seed. Cut the top off the bottle and fill it halfway with soil. Put in the seeds, water, and cover it with a piece of screen. Once the grass starts growing, stock your condo with different animals like insects, earthworms, and even snails. Research what types of food each creature likes to eat and make sure to keep it watered.